My colleagues and I understand that it can be overwhelming when a loved one passes away. Quite apart from the grief, there are many legal and practical issues to address when someone dies. This is particularly so if you've been asked to serve as a personal representative, where your job is to sort out a deceased person's estate. A personal representative can be called an executor if there is a will, or an administrator if there is no will. Their role is to carry out the deceased's wishes, while abiding by their legal duty to protect the estate for the beneficiaries and to administer the estate properly and in accordance with the law. Unless an estate is worth below a certain amount or doesn't involve property or land, personal representatives are usually required to apply for a special legal authority before they can deal with a deceased person's estate. This is called a grant of representation, and there are 3 types. Grant of probate is the most common, so I'm going to use that term for the rest of this discussion. Personal representatives are sometimes tempted to handle probate matters themselves, but there are many risks involved in failing to conduct the probate properly. In addition, if you're dealing with the estate of a loved one, the emotional attachment to assets and dealing with any family harmony or disharmony should not be underestimated. As a personal representative, you have a number of responsibilities and legal duties to fulfill. I'm going to set out a list below, but it's by no means exhaustive. These duties include checking if there is a will, applying for the grant of probate or representation, letting everyone relevant know that a person has died, obtaining all the information you need to move forward with probate, and submission of an inheritance tax account, irrespective of whether or not there is inheritance tax to pay on an estate. You also need to obtain the deceased title deeds or make searches at the land registry for any property they own, both in the UK and overseas. Once you've discovered what property they own, you need to check the existence and adequacy of any insurance cover and make sure the insurance company are notified straight away. I mentioned inheritance tax earlier. It's essential if there's tax to pay that you calculate and pay any tax that is due. You may also become involved in negotiating with HM Revenue and Customs if a matter is complicated or tax could be queried. Once you've obtained the grant of probate, you have to collect in all of the assets a deceased owned and then pay all of the liabilities they owed. Towards the end of an estate administration, you also need to prepare a full set of estate accounts, which will detail every payment into and every payment out of an estate. Dealing with an estate often includes settling other taxes as well. These could be income or capital gains tax due from the deceased or incurred during the estate administration process. Finally, once you've prepared the accounts and you know that all the tax and liabilities have been paid, you can distribute the assets of the estate to all of the beneficiaries. As a personal representative, this can be a stressful and emotional time for you, and you may not fully appreciate this until you're already involved. However, you need to be aware that you may be held financially liable for any loss resulting from errors made during the estate administration process. You may also leave the estate more open to legal challenges from disgruntled would-be or existing beneficiaries. Sadly, challenges against an estate have become a growing trend. They often result from entrenched sibling rivalries and complex family relationships. As well as dealing with the legal requirements, the probate process involves a high amount of detailed administration work, and this can take many months or even years to complete, particularly if the deceased affairs are complicated. Complexities involve, for example, owning a business or a farm, having a taxable estate or assets abroad. As a personal representative, you need to decide whether you have the time to take on this role carefully and whether it's something you have the energy to do. As I say to my clients, it's my job to do this for you. It's my job to look into matters that you might not otherwise have time to do so yourself and to ensure that you comply with all of your legal and taxation responsibilities. For many families, it's better not to risk taking on the probate process by yourself, especially when there are specialists who are ready and able to assist you. We can ensure the whole process is completed quickly and efficiently, ensuring all necessary information is gathered, paperwork taken care of, and all the legal and taxation procedures followed. In addition, if you are a beneficiary of an estate, we can deal with taxation matters and, where relevant, give ongoing advice about how an inheritance can be maximised, possibly restructured and protected for your family as you begin to look forward post-bereavement. For further information, please contact myself, Victoria Smyth, or one of my colleagues in the private client team.